200 million spent on 3 defenders, a DM, and a forward, and we still can't defend, break up the play, or score. -3 goal difference after 3 games played. They say tough times never lost. They were wrong. I saw a stat line before the game that said United and Liverpool's aggregate scoreline over the previous 10 Premier League games was 26-7. I thought no way Liverpool under a new manager in a new era were going to march in and put their lead into the 30s. I was right. Mohamed Salah was at it yet again. I'd probably say something bad about him, but I know I'll need the name of his doctor in Turkey soon. Those locks are coming in nicely. My time is coming up. I need the contact, bro. There's a lot to dissect from this match. One of the key takeaways is that they need to stop letting United tray into Old Trafford. Man is funny as hell, but it's bad for business, alright? Anyway, let's get this over with. Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tinashe. I'm also upset. It's taken 3 games for me to question the direction of this entire club in general. Speed running season expectations. You'll never sing that. It hasn't been a good start. First game was a narrow win versus Fulham, then one of the worst lapses in concentration in the dying minutes of the game versus Brighton. You could argue that this was an unlucky loss. Of course, United did score 2 goals that were eventually overruled for offsides. Joshua Zirkzee scored a goal in his debut, but then his luck seems to have dissolved since. Also, you can't really call this game an unlucky loss because United were outplayed. It's kind of as simple as that. With that being said, United have looked different this season. I'm not going to say better because the results don't reflect that, but we have seen a bit more positivity, more of an emphasis on width and pushing those fullbacks forward. The passes have been a bit more sharper. Ten Hag has very clearly been working on variations here as if his job depends on it, which it does. But again, if you were to just look at the results, you wouldn't be so sure that he knows that. Anyway, let's talk about the Liverpool match. I was very positive about this matchup going into it. Weaker United sides have taken points off of stronger Liverpool sides in the past. Plus, this is a Liverpool side that hasn't completely settled into the groove of things. As you would imagine, 3 games in, new manager, all of that. So let's go into the positives of this whole situation. From a Liverpool perspective, that is, they were fantastic. They rocked up to Old Trafford and they do what they do best against United over the last couple of seasons at least. They won while removing all hope of a resurgence. From an overall perspective, at the time, I didn't really think that they were better than United in that first half an hour or so. Yes, they did score 6 minutes into the game after one of those super fast transitions, only for the goal to be overruled. And yes, they did have another clear-cut chance a couple seconds after that, but overall, I think United controlled the ball a bit more. They seemed a bit more calmer in possession, but upon reflection, it seems that was by design, because as soon as Liverpool really grew into the match, they were flowing so well. This was a very successful counter-attacking performance. Slot was happy with letting United have more possession, waiting for them to make mistakes, and hitting them where it hurts when the ball turned over. We'll touch on it over the course of the video as we move along, but this Liverpool side has not lost a single step when it comes to ruthlessly punishing mistakes. Of course, Mohamed Salah was at the center of it, 2 assists and a goal. At this point, Old Trafford must feel like a home game to him. All-round great showings from Szoboszlai, McAllister and Gravenberch. Gravenberch and McAllister made some very decisive tackles that led to goals. Szoboszlai probably should have had a goal himself, to be fair. I was told by Liverpool supporters that Luis Diaz was inconsistent and had no output. Who said that? I just want to know. I want to talk to them. I just want to talk to them. On to Manchester United. Sadness and sloppiness. What's the point of holding on to the ball for good portions of a match when you don't actually know how to execute or do anything with the ball in the decisive areas of the pitch? The number of wayward passes during fast breaks, during, genuine attacking plays, missed controls, the frustration was just too much, man. And I haven't even mentioned the casual dilly-dallying on the ball in the middle of the pitch. The main culprit of all of this? We know him well. This isn't his first offense. Casemiro.
Leave the football before the football leaves you. The football's left him.
My bro, you're a legend of the game, but you are washed, man. First goal, the man gift wraps the ball straight into the feet of Gravenberch in this situation. I don't understand this. Why is he funneling the ball right back into such a packed area of the pitch? There are 3 Liverpool players to United's 2. So look closely here. We have Mazraoui on the right in free space. We have Bruno in front of him in a little bit more space. And then we have Mainu to his left in no space. This is probably the most dangerous patch on the entire pitch in this particular instance. It's a great place to put the ball in, right? Gravenberch is literally facing United's ball. He knows that he's about to get the interception and he's on his horse. He is the best suited player to kickstart a counter, which is exactly why Casemiro gives him the ball, I guess. Just like that, it's a 5 versus 3, and Liverpool score in this situation 9 times out of 10 over the last 7 years or so. Easy. Second goal. The man is caught loitering in the middle of the park. To me, it was pretty obvious at this point that the Liverpool players were targeting Casemiro as the weak link and that he was a pressing trigger. I'm sure Casemiro recognized that and he was trying to buy a free kick here from as soon as he received the ball, because I see no passing intent. But to be fair to him, he wasn't exactly 100% at fault for this goal, because this time we have a 6 versus 3. United's defense should be cleaning up here because the ball was only really played between 2 players. Salah and Diaz didn't need the third man and did it all on their own. Nobody in the defense reacts at all. Unbelievable pass by Salah though. I saw a comment on Twitter saying that you can kill the man but not the idea, in reference to Casemiro getting subbed off, because Mainu took the reins and did his best Casemiro impression for the third. Bumped off with ease. 4 versus 2 situation. Dalot is, I don't know, watching Ronaldo highlights in the corner over here when he realizes Salah, of all people, is completely free. Casemiro getting subbed off was a bit of a surprise to me, I'm not gonna lie to you. He needed to come off, of course he did. He missed past like 10 passes in that first half alone, but I didn't think Ten Hag was actually gonna do it. Perhaps a McTominay would have been handy in this situation, because this was not the best circumstance to bring Toby Collier on. Man was physically no match and was bouncing all over the pitch. The man was very clearly too scared to make any forward passes or any risky passes or anything like that, and you know what? I would be too if I was subbed onto the field of play for my Premier League and Old Trafford debut at halftime against Liverpool while being 2 goals down. Mainu was all over the place, nowhere near as composed as we've come to expect. A reminder that he is still only 19, after all. You get a pass. Can Ugarte fix this midfield? I hope so. Matheus de Ligt and Lisandro Martinez were left all alone against Salah, Diaz, Jota and Szoboszlai far too often. It was absurd. Liverpool might be under new management, but did Mazraoui and Dalot kind of forget that this team has probably been the best counter-attacking team over the past decade in the Premier League? Bruno was invisible and not able to galvanize the troops when it mattered. I love him, I truly do. He is our best player. But when things like this happen, he just loses his cool far too much, kicking the ball into the crowd, complaining all the time. The desire is what you want to see, but I just don't think it manifests in the correct way for him sometimes. I'm willing to give Joshua Zirkzee some slack for some of his missed opportunities, as he is still new, adapting to a new country, a new league, a new team, but he really should have scored at least 2 times in this match. Regardless, part of why I'm willing to forgive him is that he is not a number 9. He's very clearly not a striker. He roams around the pitch far too much. But he's probably going to play there a lot more often, because Rasmus Højlund looks like he's pretty injury prone at this point. I don't know how much we can rely on him as much as we want to. So that means Zirkzee has to get used to being perpetually available in the box and using that 6'4" frame to his advantage. I've been quick to be on the Rashford hate train when he underperforms, but I can't be too critical of him in this game. Like I said, he should have had 2 assists if Zirkzee was more clinical. But he obviously didn't have a good game himself. I just feel like his maturity isn't where it needs to be given his status and seniority in the team. He also kind of picks and chooses when to take players on. He just needs to back himself a little bit more, especially when you consider some of his historic performances against Trent Alexander-Arnold. Rashford is not a youngster anymore. He's 27 in a month, I believe. At this point, it's looking like it might be Lingard all over again. He really needs to be leading that front line, given his position. Amad Diallo was introduced a bit too late in that match. Honestly, I probably would have started him over Rashford, given his form. But like I said, in the end, Rashford wasn't terrible and keeping him on made sense. As soon as Amad came on for Garnacho, he was running at the defenders, and maybe he needed a bit more time to do that. Overall, I guess from a neutral perspective, this game was a lot more expansive than a lot of the Liverpool United matches that we've seen in very recent memory. United in particular were a lot more fierce in winning the ball back. They were more confident and more, but that didn't really matter in the end, did at it. There are a lot of things we can forgive from an individual perspective here, but what we can't forgive is the fact that Liverpool are 3 games into a new era under a new manager with significantly less hair than the last, and they are still better than a Manchester United that has had 3 years of development, team building, and continuity with the same manager. How? I'm not going to go all in on the ownership like a lot of people are probably doing right now, because 3 games into the season, 3 games into the real project, after a lot of people have been brought in, a lot of people have been fired, a lot of people hired, I think they deserve a bit of time to show that what they're doing is going to work, because they have shown ambition, and I think that's worth something. Let Omar Barada, Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox, and the new staff build the vision that they have for the club. But please, make it consistent. I'm pretty sure none of them will be watching this. I hope none of them will be watching this, because that would mean that they watch football YouTube, and I don't think that's the move, Chief. But if anyone knows anyone that knows anyone that knows anyone that knows someone else that maybe is potentially related to one of those people in charge, pass the message on, I guess. Ten Hag, however, should be seeing results by now. I do hope that things work out for Ten Hag as manager, at the very least in the short term. Not necessarily because I believe he's the manager that's going to be able to take United forward in the long term, but just because I hate managerial turnover and the chaos that it brings. Manchester United is not the type of club that can operate through coaching transition like other clubs can. Something that has been painfully obvious to anyone that's half paid attention even one time over the last 11 years. The FA Cup saved Ten Hag last season, and fair enough. He was rewarded with £200 million more to splurge on his former Ajax players, his fellow countrymen, and I guess Lenny Yoro and Manuel Ugarte, who, to be fair, haven't actually played yet. That brings his total spending up to £600 million. Nobody can say that this is not definitively his team and realistically his vision. It's just sad to see, man. Early predictions are that he doesn't see the end of the year, but like I said, I hope that doesn't come true. Going back to Liverpool, this was the first full Liverpool match that I've seen under Arne Slot, and I'm not gonna lie, I was very impressed. I'm not sure if this is the new norm or just how he approached this particular match, but from the bits and pieces that I've seen of this team, and of course from this United match, it seems that they're a bit slower to the press. That rock and roll style of football that we saw in the past seems to be gone. All I know is that Liverpool fans are happy, so he must be doing something right. 3 games into the season and only 2 teams have maintained a 100% record in the league so far, and it's not the 2 teams that you'd expect. I'm joking. Of course I'm joking. This whole channel might as well be a joke at this point. And you guys wonder why I only post about United once a month. If that. Liverpool and Manchester City. Massive surprise. Let's see how this one plays out. And speaking of Manchester City, they're looking sharper than ever, sadly. It's not very fair, is it? I'm hoping somebody can nerf this guy. He looks like he's downloaded the Close Control plugin this season, and his goal variety has just exploded. I want to look into all the goals that he scored so far this season and just how much sharper he's looking and better overall, so that might drop a bit later on in the week. It is an international break, so there's more time to digest it all and give a proper pseudo-analysis. 7 goals already is no joke. It's unbelievable. Anyway, there you have it. Let me know all your thoughts about Liverpool and Man United. Just another reminder that this channel is sponsored by Olafly. You can check out the link in the description if you want a new eSIM or a top-up on your eSIM. That's all for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're having a great day. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.